Video shows hundreds on the roof of a train making its way north through Mexico. Those migrants are part of an unbroken train stretching all the way back to South America. The impact of thousands of people making the trek north is taking a huge toll on the communities through which they pass. Chuck Holton brings us the story from the Darien Gap.
What was once one of the most remote and pristine jungles on planet Earth is now an environmental disaster. Trash litters the banks of the river locals once depended on for their water. Now the bitter irony is that in a place which gets a dozen feet of rain each year, these indigenous tribes have to import bottled water.
So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning on the Rio Turquesa going into the Darien Gap, and we're starting to pass dozens and dozens of these boats coming out completely full of migrants. You see all these migrants here behind me. They're from all over the world, and they're all headed out to the river end where the road is. The problem is there are not enough boats to get them out of here and get them down to the road where they can continue their journey to the United States.
3 hours upriver, we come to the last village before reaching the Colombian border. The scene is apocalyptic. Thousands of migrants arrive each day, more than 6 times the village's original population. There's nowhere to sleep and no adequate facilities for the crush of humanity dragging in after 6 days in the jungle. People line up to register for the boat ride out, standing for hours under the merciless sun. Although many suffer from heat stroke, the tiny clinic has almost nothing to offer.
Yeah, we're at 5 minutes and there's people passing out left and right. The sun came out, it's super hot. They don't have many resources here to help. That's really what they need. They need resources. These guys, they need volunteers, they need supplies. With thousands of people coming in here every day, there's just no way that they can take care of all the people that are coming in with needs, because by this time they've already been walking through the jungle for 5 or 6 days. And so they get here, they're all half dead. Some of them are mostly dead. And like this one right here, just dehydrated, passed out in the sun, and they really need time to recover before they continue their journey.
And many are dying in the jungle.
People who was passing the river, they could just see the dead bodies in front of them. And me and my friends, we just go and we just covered them with some plastics because we didn't want some wild animals to eat them or something. And also there were some children and also some families, they were passing from that path. We didn't want them to see the dead bodies. And it was extremely, extremely dangerous way.
Now, the tribe has reached a breaking point. They've decided to build a separate camp for the migrants across the river, one that will hold up to 15,000 people.
We've decided that it has to be a shelter away from the community, which should give migrants their own place for food and shelter, as this has affected every aspect of our lives, including social, economic, cultural, and even education.
Right now, they are defecating in the same streets where they are sleeping. Nobody wants that. We want everything to be well organized and in order, so that the migrants feel better when they come to the community.
This year, the number of people traversing the gap en route to the United States has exceeded 350,000, which is already 100,000 more than 2022. And despite the toll in human misery, the numbers just keep rising. From Panama, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
A much-needed report. Thank you, Chuck. Gordon, those scenes are just devastating and overwhelming, and it just shows the desperation on so many people.
Well, it shows the desperation, but it also shows that they have hope. And what other country has a dream? In America, we actually joke about it. I'm trying to achieve the American dream. Is there an Afghanistan dream? You know, when you look at the migrants coming in, they're coming to us because they perceive that they can have hope here. But what I don't understand, and I've said it before, I'm going to continue saying it until we can get some kind of movement on it, where is our government in this? Is there not comprehensive immigration policies that clearly spell it out as to what is going to happen to you if you show up at the border? Right now, the message that they're getting is, okay, if you get arrested, it's no big deal. You're going to get released and even sent up to Chicago. So, it's the wrong message to send, and that's the reason you're seeing this flood of immigration, because they have the hope, they have the promise, they want the dream that we all have. They want that, and they're coming in absolute droves. And it's curious to me to see that there's really not effective news coverage on this issue. Just the other day, the administration comes out with some kind of plan for 300,000 Venezuelans to actually get employed here. And they tout that as some big policy change, and the administration trying to solve the migration problem. Well, 300,000 against 3.5 million is not solving anything. You're just throwing a pebble in the pond. How do we come to comprehensive immigration policy? This shouldn't be a Republican issue. It shouldn't be a Democrat issue. This should be a United States of America issue. How do we solve this? And how do we send a message to folks? Here's the proper process to follow. If you don't follow that, you're not getting in. Terry?
Well, the pictures are devastating.
Yeah.
You know, before that, it's numbers, and you're appalled by the numbers. But then when you see that,
You see the people,
oh my
and
word,
your heart goes out to them.
the suffering.